Okay, so I have a quote we can start with on page 133. It says, "No, I'll not die. He be glad. He does not love me at all. He would never miss me." And that's just like Catherine talking to Nellie about how like she thinks now Mr. Linton doesn't care about her, and she just kind of wants all the attention. And Nellie is just kind of like sick of her like drama.
Yeah, and it was almost like when she said that, it was almost like she was like, "No, I don't want to die because that's what Edgar wants."
She doesn't want to satisfy him with giving in to him not loving her and letting her die.
Yeah.
Do you think at this point all she thinks about is Heathcliff?
Yeah, I kind of think that she just like keeps like talking about it like back and forth, and then she'll be like, "Oh, like Edgar hates me," and then like another time she'll be like, "Oh no, like Heathcliff hates me," and like she like keeps going like back and forth.
Right. Also, did Isabella have a baby? Or not Isabella, Catherine, sorry.
Yeah, I think that's farther along.
Yeah.
Because it made it seem, which it said something about how it looked exactly like her mother.
Yeah.
Which made me question, like, because it didn't come right out and say, oh, she was pregnant and had a baby. It was like, and all of a sudden, it just like happened so abruptly, it made me like question.
Was that in volume 2?
Yeah. I am looking for it right now.
Yeah, because I remember I had a quote, it was similar. It was on like page 183. Is that in part 2?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it said something like, a great addition in my eyes was his being left without an heir. And she was like talking about Mr. Linton. So I didn't know if like the baby died or like what happened.
Right. That made me wonder if it was a girl, because like the girl couldn't take over the farm or whatever that they're on.
Yeah. Going back to the chapter 12, I had one that when you said she was still obsessed with Heathcliff, I know she was talking about there that she just wishes she was back at home, like in her bed at Wuthering Heights. So it almost like was like, yeah, she really does miss Heathcliff, and she really, like, her true feelings are starting to come out, because she says she wants to like be there, and she like regrets being there.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And I think on page 163, Heathcliff says, "I will see her," like very like determined that he will see her again. Like, I think that made he realized then that he still loves her. Like, that showed. So I think they're both like still connected. Like, Catherine obviously, like you said, wants to go like back to Wuthering Heights, and he wants to just be wherever she is.
Yeah. And I find it like kind of ironic in a way that like Catherine is like, she's kind of going crazy in a way, and like Heathcliff is, because Heathcliff's wife Isabella, like, she sent that letter to Nellie, like saying like, is he a madman, like is he not like a devil and stuff, because he just kind of like ignores her and thinks about like Catherine all the time, like kind of how she thinks about Heathcliff all the time.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And on page 164, Mrs. Ellen, she said, excuse me, she said that the fight that like Heathcliff and Mr. Linton are in, like over Catherine, is like it says here, you and the master would kill her altogether, like if they were like ever together, because they're just fighting over her, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it would like piss her off so much that she would just like she's not. Since if you two are both fighting over, she's eventually just gonna give up and like get rid of both of you.
Exactly. And that made me wonder if that was like kind of foreshadowing, because it said it would kill her altogether. That made me think that it was foreshadowing the death of Catherine.
Yeah.
Like maybe further out, she's gonna die here soon of a broken heart or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's true. And who was it? I think Isabella. She like either in the letter or in person, she said how like kind of the same thing that Heathcliff told her, that he told me of Catherine's illness and accused my brother, Mr. Linton, of causing it. So they're kind of just like, in a way, they're all just like blaming each other for like random things.
Exactly. And Heathcliff said that he only married Isabella to get the upper hand over Edgar.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, I thought that was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. It was kind of noticeable though, like because he wasn't all over Isabella until after Kathy was like, no, you can't have her, you have to keep your hands off of her. And then after that conversation, he was like, oh, I have to have her. And then they ran off together. So it was like, obviously he just did it to make them jealous.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then like when Heathcliff, when he comes back for Catherine, the time where like he came before Mr. Linton was home, when he was talking to her, he said, I shouldn't care what you suffered. I care nothing for your suffering. Why shouldn't you suffer? That's what Catherine said to Heathcliff. And like I was just confused because she was talking all this time like how she like misses him and stuff. And then when he like finally comes there, she's like, she makes it about herself. She's like, well, I've been suffering, so why shouldn't you have to suffer for like not being able to see me?
Right, they're like both mad at each other.
Yeah, they're both like bipolar.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like I don't know, do you guys think that like Catherine has like a mental illness almost?
Yes.
Like she's like not exactly right in the head?
Yeah.
I know somewhere it said that she literally did die of a broken heart, which I think that had something to do with her mental capability, because she was not stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fast forwarding to like after Catherine died, what I thought was kind of an interesting quote is Nellie saying this to Heathcliff. She says, Heathcliff, if I were you, I'd go stretch myself over her grave and die like a faithful dog. I just like kind of thought that was interesting because like she's kind of like telling him off. She's like, well, if you loved her so much, like just basically just go out and just kill yourself.
Yeah. And he's so emotionally connected too with her that like instead of like actually like going out and killing himself, he asked like Catherine's ghost to just come and haunt him.
Yeah.
Which is like, why would you do that? But I guess he just maybe wanted her presence around him at all times.
Yeah. Like they just like no matter what, they just can't like let each other go. Like they have like a weird obsession with each other.
Exactly.
I almost feel like Heathcliff has a mental like disability also, because I know in chapter 3 of the second part it talks about Hareton. Nellie wants to take Hareton back with her, but Heathcliff is like, no, I'm taking him and I'm gonna raise him as my own child. And that's what he did with the little Linton, which I think is crazy because he is obviously not stable enough to take care of himself and like a wife, let alone to take care of 2 kids that he like will not give up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think he's almost like mentally insane in that aspect because he's like using like the roundabout way to try and get Kathy to his house.
Yeah.
Like he's thinking in the long run, like maybe this will give me a chance to get Kathy back, and that's a part of Catherine.
Yeah.
Like, do you think he sees, like, within, like, I know he doesn't get to see Cassie very often, but when he sees her, do you think, like, she looks like him, and that's why he, like accidentally runs into them all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in, it was, like, later in, like, chapter, one sec. Oh, chapter 8, when, like, it says how the one time when she was in the garden and she dropped her hat over the wall
Oh yeah.
and she ran into Heathcliff, like coincidentally he was
Yeah.
there, and he's like, oh, you should come and, like, see Linton because he has a broken heart and all this.
Yeah.
He is creepily setting them up.
And that's the weird thing, is that they're cousins.
Yeah.
We're back to the incest.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would agree, though. Like, and do you think it was right of Nellie to cut off, like, all communications between the two places, or should she have let the love blossom?
I don't know, I feel like it could go either way. Like, she had, like, good intentions because of, like, prior, like, family conflicts, but then again, I'm sure she's like, well, they're more innocent, and, like, maybe they won't, like, do, like, as much wrong as the others did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
All right. Well, that is